It's time for the feature presentation.
Coming up on this episode of PFM After Dark, we review the 2013 crime drama Joe. Welcome to episode 6 of PFM After Dark. I'm Alicia, and as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, my one and only human. And if you didn't read the show notes from last week's episode, my future husband. Jason, can you tell us a little bit about the movie we'll be reviewing?
I sure can. And thanks for saying yes. The movie Joe is a crime drama thriller written by Gary Hawkins and directed by David Gordon Green. Released first in Venice in August of 2013, then again on April 14th, 2014 in the United States, the film stars Nicolas Cage, Ty Sheridan, and Gary Poulter. Joe carries an R rating and has a runtime of 157 minutes.
I'm sure you noticed the third microphone at the beginning of the show. Well, that space is now filled with our guest of the week. Mom, welcome back. Are you ready to have a beer or two or three or four and talk about the movie we watched together the other night?
Yes, I am, and I'm glad to be back. Thank you for bringing me.
Of course, we're glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Do you have a delicious beverage?
Megan!
I guess that means it's time to start the review. To review the drink we're having, I can't even read, during the show. And we've got beer! As always, we search for something local that we haven't had before. Alicia, what's on tap today?
I'm holding 3 cans of beer here, and I may or may not share.
Ooh.
But this week we chose Groovy Dawn's IPA. It is a 6.5% ABV India Pale Ale made by Yellowhammer Brewing in Huntsville, Alabama.
All right, let's pass these bad boys out.
So, I want to show tricks here for those of you watching the audio. I think this is why Jason asked me to marry him.
Oh.
What did I just do there?
You just opened 2 beers, each with one hand. Wait, how did I say that right? Yeah, you opened 2 beers, one with your left hand, one with your right hand.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time.
Skills.
Skills.
At the same time.
I know how to earn a man.
That's right. All right, let's do a little quick adjustment here so that we can get Mom a little closer to her mic. There we go. And what do you guys think of this can? I mean, we always pop them open, but this is a beautiful can.
It really is. This can is super, super fun. It has a lot of colors and a lot going on. I see butterflies and flowers and mushrooms with orange, yellows, different shades of yellow, blue. It's really, really cool. And then the bottom, it's like a sidewalk that looks like rainbow colors, and you're walking into a brick door stone thingy.
Reminds me of the 70s all over again.
It really does. That's
yeah.
why it's so cool.
It does. It's like reading Rainbow.
Yeah. Groovy.
Yeah. Keep it groovy.
Groovy Dawns.
I like the little labels on here too. It's got like the
Keep it
hops
groovy.
label, the malts label,
Keep it groovy.
There you go.
the L label.
Yeah.
This is fun.
All right. So, anyways, let's start pouring. We apologize
We gotta
for
get
some of the
Mom's
little.
glass.
Yeah, I got it. We apologize for this is the first time with the third microphone, so we're doing our best to try to get everybody positioned.
Yeah, we're new here.
This is our first day.
Thank you.
You can slide up a little bit too if you want, because then you're like right. That's
Okay.
yeah.
That's better.
Look
Yep.
at that beautiful
turn you up.
pour.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 3 different glasses. It's fun.
Yeah. What glasses do you guys have over there? I didn't even look.
I've got the tall boy glass here, really tall.
Thank you.
Mom's got the traditional beer glass.
This
That's
is
because I'm special.
really risky.
And then, ooh,
Oh,
Look
Jason.
at that.
perfect.
Like, I mean,
I got my gnome glass.
all right, little smell. So yeah, I do love the color. Oh God, there's that smell.
The color is
It's got that.
nice. It's an IPA, like hazy IPA color with the yellowish, orangish.
Oh, that smell melts me every
And
time.
it smells good, but why do I smell cotton candy? I swear I smell cotton candy.
I do not smell cotton
Like
candy.
up in there.
I really don't smell cotton candy.
This is the COVID nose getting me?
I smell.
It's the COVID nose, baby.
I smell.
Sweet.
If anything, well, it's definitely sweet, but if anything, I smell like almost a little bit of peanut butter.
I don't smell peanut butter. I smell cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Like what
Yeah.
flavor of cotton candy?
It
by the way?
Blue,
smells
like
citrusy
blue
to
cotton
me.
candy.
Yeah,
I smell
citrusy.
citrus.
I'm broken.
Well, here's the most important part of this.
Almost like grapefruity, orangey type.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers to episode 6.
Okay.
Have to
People
be
with partial buses that are
careful
finished.
with my glass here.
We'll talk about that in a few.
All right, I'm excited. That tastes groovy.
That tastes really, really
Literally.
groovy.
Oh, that's light.
That's good.
Feeling groovy.
Oh, and then along comes the IPA. Oh, and then the hops. They're really hitting now.
Mhm.
This is a good one.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
I don't
It
taste
has
cotton
a-
candy for the record, but
Yeah, it has a really
Did
good
smell it.
aftertaste.
the aftertaste goes away quickly. But it's a good after, like fresh,
That's what I'm noticing most.
like crisp, fresh
crisp.
aftertaste.
The crispness going in. Then there's the deep dark hops in the middle, and then it's fresh and clean on the way out.
This is it's good.
This is happiness in
What do
a
you
glass.
think, Mom?
I think it's delicious.
So
It's very good.
definitely recommend a West Coast style IPA, Groovy Dons, 6.5% Yellowhammer Brewing in Huntsville,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
So, what food would you make this with, Jason?
I would make this with probably dog food. No, I'm just kidding. I hear the dogs barking.
I
so.
do hear the dogs barking.
I mean, this is like good enough to have with a steak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we talk about hamburgers, and then there's
Ooh, yeah, a steak and a sweet potato, like a
Mhm.
baked sweet potato.
Yep.
Yeah,
What about you?
A good pizza.
Yep.
pizza.
You always go to the pizza,
Yeah.
but you know what?
I
You're
always
right.
love pizza.
Yeah, but you're right though,
I
because
would
like
go with pizza.
beer, pizza, steaks, they all seem to go together. You know,
I would do it with a Hawaiian pizza, with a
Was that the one
Canadian.
with pineapple?
Yeah, with Canadian bacon and pineapple.
We gotta get her out.
Do you want me to put it over here?
No, I'm good. I'm not going to hand you my beer.
So
oh, that's true. You might lose it.
I would definitely purchase this beer again.
Yes, I would Oh yeah, no, I definitely would. This
As-
is like 2 now that we really said for sure.
Yeah, I think we should go up to the brewery and try it on draft, actually, because it's only like an hour north.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
We
That is true.
date night,
Oh yeah,
That would be fun for
So-
y'all.
please, and thank you.
yeah.
That would be fun for y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
We also have a gong. It's not
It's
the
fine.
listen.
That
No
way
offense
they can gong me.
No offense to
Gong.
the folks over here in this microphone company, but you know it's a little different
Yeah.
than the microphone stand. Is
It just has the little springy springs that shouldn't be springy spring.
that annoying to anyone listening?
Jason spent 30 minutes playing the springs earlier
I
on
did.
the microphone.
Right? Maybe we'll do a spring solo later.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back on track, shall we?
Yeah, we should.
And we should get into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a pretty good movie. And one of the things that, so here's how I pick movies. I go on to, usually it's Freevee, but, and I look for something that typically has at least a 6.5 rating or better. So if you remember our movie review from a couple episodes ago, where we did Bad Times at the El Royale, that one had like a 7.1. And that's how I decided to pick that movie, is I just happened to go, this looks good. It seems to be highly rated. There's enough people looking, so I'm going to watch it. So this one had the 6.8 that was on there, and I'm like, okay, well, it's got Nicolas Cage, got to be pretty good, whatever. The thing that surprised me the most about this movie was the pace. Like, I liked it, but man, it was not what I was expecting. And that leads me to, what did you guys think about this movie?
Yeah. So the pace was different. Like it was kind of slow, but at the same time it wasn't slow because there was a lot going on. Like you'd have like 1 3-minute scene, and there's just so much going on. I definitely have to rewatch this movie so that I can gather more information, I think. But I do think the movie was good. It was well written. The actors and actresses, I feel like they did a good job. I was very surprised about the darkness of the movie. I was anticipating like, because you read it, and it's like, oh, heroic, and you kind of think like, I don't know,
Action.
superhero, more action or whatever. There wasn't like a lot of action, I guess, but it was really, really dark. It's got to be one of the darker movies I've seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to describe it with, was dark. It had a little bit of everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Backwoods country back in Texas. It was slow, a lot of drinking.
Yeah, yeah. And it was, so the opening scene was, well, let's talk about the characters for a second. So you had Nicolas Cage, who was Joe, who was the main character, obviously the name of the movie. You had Ty Sheridan, who at the time I think was like 15 or something. Like he was young.
Yeah.
That
He
was
was
his son.
Yep, he was Gary. Speaking of Gary, you had Gary Poulter, who played Wade, also known as
G-Dog.
G-Dog.
Yeah.
Who we'll talk about him in a little bit here, but he has an interesting backstory. Ronnie Jean Blevins as Willie Russell. He had some pretty nasty teeth. That's what I remember.
Yeah, he did.
And Adrienne Mishler as Connie, and she would have been the
Brothel girlfriend,
brothel girlfriend. Yeah,
I guess.
I guess. So the movie starts out with Gary, or Ty Sheridan, and he's sitting on a railroad track with his dad, who was Gary Poulter, the homeless guy, and he's basically kind of berating his dad for being...
Yeah, for treating his mom and his sister and him. He was abusive. He abused his wife and his children.
Yeah.
And he was telling him that these guys that lived in the town was coming to kick his ass because he deserved it, and that was his dad, but he didn't want to see it, but he deserves it. And if they didn't do it, that he was going to kick his ass.
Mhm.
And then his dad punched him.
His
And
dad-
then he got his ass kicked.
And then he's got his ass
and
kicked.
then
Yep.
the men come from town and they kicked his ass.
Mhm.
But he deserved it.
That was a really interesting scene to me because it's the very like opening. You're really confused. You don't know what's going on, but the way they filmed him walking up the hill, like you really, and the conversation was so. I don't want to say light because it was a dark conversation, but you're getting in, you're not really understanding what they're talking about, or at least I didn't. And then when they filmed him walking up the hill, you think he's just walking off and fine. It's whatever. But then as he gets to the top of the hill, the other guys met him, and one of them's holding the big gun, and then they beat him up.
Yep, they kicked his ass.
Wasn't one of them Ronnie Jean Blevins? Wasn't that Willie Russell that was at the top there, the guy with the teeth? Wasn't he
You
one
know
of the
what?
people?
I didn't even notice that,
think
if
it
it
was.
was.
I didn't pay
I'm not
attention
sure.
ever.
Because there were like 3 or 4 guys,
Yeah.
I think. I thought
Yeah.
they were going to kill him and shoot him. So when they didn't, I was like, okay, he's not dead yet. I thought it was like one of those opening, like as soon as you see a character, somebody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even notice that. That may have been him.
So just to give a quick, like a little rundown on the storyline, so everybody knows kind of what happens here, and you can check this out on IMDb. In order to provide for his destitute family of drifters, a likable, sincere, able-bodied 15-year-old boy, which is Gary, comes to hire on a burned-out ex-con's group of aging forest laborers. So the next scene goes to that part where I think you see Nicolas Cage and his band of forest workers, and I guess they're there trying to poison trees and chop them down, and just that's what they do. That's their job. They're forest cleaners. I don't know, what is a forest
Well, he
laborer?
said that they killed the old trees that didn't grow well or something so that they could replant new trees that were better.
Okay.
So they killed
Oh,
the bad
so it was an
trees,
improvement
and
process.
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were reseeding it.
it really didn't make a lot of sense to me.
It
But
didn't.
that's what they said. They were killing the bad trees that didn't grow well or something like that, or maybe they weren't planted in the right spot. I don't know. But they
Yeah.
killed trees in order to replace them with some other tree.
Like it was a more harder wood pine. So
Anywho.
they could use it for whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they were killing the oak trees and replacing them with pine trees.
I don't know.
They were just spending our tax money. That's all.
So I think if I remember correctly, Gary stumbles upon this this scene where they're doing the trees, and he's looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary's the kid, and he's looking for work, but he's also looking for work for not only him but for his dad, because, well, as you find out later, he's unhappy with just being in a miserable household. So he meets Nicolas Cage, or Joe, and I think what happens, he's basically, he offers him a job on the spot, really, right?
Yeah, he did.
And then he goes home, and did he offer? He offered his dad a job, but we never see Dad actually show up, right?
No, he did the next day, because when he left, the kid worked really hard that day and didn't even ask what he was getting paid. But
That's right.
He worked his ass off that day. And then Joe said, "Hey, come back tomorrow, 6 a.m. If your dad wants to work, bring him too."
Yes.
And when Dad showed up, Dad didn't hardly do nothing, and then the other worker had a problem with it and was talking about him not pulling his weight.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he was
and
walking.
he was drinking his water.
Yeah, he was just stealing everybody's water. I didn't see him actually work. I saw him drinking everybody's water.
He would just go drink everybody else's water.
We're kind of bouncing around a little bit, but that was later on. That's probably the most funny and most enjoyable scene in the movie was when the dad gets into it with one of the workers. It's pretty funny. But what you don't know, I guess, is that Dad is, I mean, we talked about it. I guess you do know because it's introduced at the beginning that he's abusive and everything, but you don't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
Until you see different scenes throughout the, whatever, because it just portrays them in living in such a rundown slump. Like everything about that movie had slumps. Like, I don't think anybody had a good life there.
Yeah, it's like really backwoods out in the sticks.
Everybody was slumpy.
Yeah. So as we continue on, the man becomes more and more aware. So as Joe becomes more and more aware of the abusive life that the boy is living, he starts to get, I guess, feelings towards that situation. He starts to become more dad-like than Dad, right? Mm-hmm. And he starts to become, and again, keep in mind that Joe is an ex-con, but we don't know what he did, right?
Yeah.
We never do find out.
I think that should be a backstory.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to know what he did.
But he's an ex-con, and so he's obviously got some sort of criminal background, but he's out, I guess, trying to do the right thing. You kind of do see him try to do the right thing because he's like, later in some of the other scenes, we'll get to that in a minute, he's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Mm-hmm. But eventually his emotions get the best of him and he makes some boo-boos. But
one thing I noticed too, though, like in the midst of all that, like certain scenes, when you learn that he's an ex-con, but then you learn Joe kind of has some power in the community with the law. And in these scenes, as they kind of unfold, you realize how much power that he has over the law. So it really makes me curious on his ex-con, even though they didn't say, like, was it anything actually bad, or was it just, like, minute just to kind of, like...
Right. Traffic stop.
but now, like, he just does what he wants.
I'm looking up here at some of the notes about the plot from, Wikipedia and IMDb, and I just happened to come across... So... What is with I guess I'm lost. Maybe you can help me here. There's Connie, who's Adrienne Mishler, who is, what is she, the brothel leader? Like there's this rundown brothel that he keeps going to, right?
Yeah, I felt like she was like the leader or the house mom of this brothel.
She was the madam.
But then you
Is
realize,
that the proper term?
Yes.
Okay.
How would you know?
Maybe I had a couple of brothels of my own.
Oh, gosh. No.
Only in my dreams.
Wow. All right. Well, apparently we booked
the rooms. I just put the young little girls in there.
No.
Wow. This is even worse.
No.
Coming up on episode
really.
7, tune in next week where we bring Mom back to explain herself. Anyways.
Not really. I wouldn't do that. But now, really, in that movie, at one point, the father... He was going to sell his daughter to some guy. He had on this like creepy like bunny mask, and they had her in the back of a truck, and the guy crawled in there, and he was going to rape her, but Joe showed up. And
Oh,
when
yeah.
Joe showed
Mhm.
up, he put a stop to all that.
I think that's when he started realizing
Just how bad.
just how bad it was.
And the young boy, at one point, he was saying that his sister, what was her name, Elizabeth? I don't remember her name, but the sister at one time,
Dorothy.
okay, when she was
Dorothy.
young, yeah, she used to talk, but then she quit altogether. I felt like she quit talking because the father was probably molesting her too, so I believe there might have been a little incest going on. And then he was going to sell her. So, yeah, she was like really traumatized and she wouldn't even talk at all.
I was kind of traumatized watching some of this movie, I'm going to be honest, because
Yeah.
like that scene, and then as it progresses, you realize like how bad this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, he was,
G-Dog.
yeah, he
G-Dog
was,
was a bad, bad man.
He was a bad man.
yeah, and he would do that just to buy alcohol. He was just,
Yeah, that's true. Because everything, yeah,
and
that's
the man
true.
he killed,
That's true because everything about him was. Hey, let's sip some more beer while we talk about
It's about the
problems.
alcohol.
yeah.
But I want to lighten this up a little bit because this is just so dark. Like thinking of G-Dog and like he was just bad.
well,
like
let me highlight some words for you and see if that brightens it up for you.
yeah. Let's not talk about that one about the prostitute and oral sex scene because that was like what?
Well, that's what she was doing whenever. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say my favorite scene of the whole movie.
Okay. All right. This is the light scene.
Because I gotta go light. Because now I'm thinking of G-Dog like killing people over alcohol and selling the daughter and all this stuff. That's just horrible. But my favorite part, and again, I guess I'm a relationship person and I like to watch relationships build. Wink, wink. But Joe and Gary, like they start coming together. Well, Gary shows up at Joe's house wanting to buy his truck. It's where it started. But the scene where they're driving around in the truck, Joe gives Gary a beer to like drive. He's like teaching him how to drink and drive.
Oh yeah.
But they're looking for his dog, right? But they're having so much fun looking for the dog. And I feel like Gary was like really looking up to Joe in that aspect, almost like a hero, but also in a father figure, something that he never had. Like I feel like Gary's acting did really well in that scene because he just it's like that look of just, that moment he had a touch of something that he never had with a father. Just looking for their dog, drinking a beer, driving the truck. I think they were listening to some music and
I would guess
they
it was
went to
probably country music.
the junkyard and,
Yeah.
the whole lighter, because Joe was teaching him about a Zippo lighter.
Yeah, and showing them how to snap your fingers and
So-
open it and all that.
That was a really fun scene. I guess that scene was probably like 10 or 15 minutes of the whole movie, but
Yeah.
and it was really good. And he found the dog, and then the dog like really liked him, which was rare because the dog didn't ever like anyone.
But you're right about that scene because that's the one that really kind of let you know that Joe, the ex-con, really is a good guy in this movie. Yeah, he may be brotheling it up and getting, what was that called? Oh, oral sex.
Yeah, because see, she had like a German Shepherd, and every time he went to go see his sweetheart, the German Shepherd kept barking at him and acted like she wanted to eat his face, so he would just get mad and leave. So he went home and got his bulldog and brought it over there. And when he put it in the house while the bulldog was killing her German Shepherd, he's up there getting oral sex. That's whenever she,
What kind of sex?
Oral.
Okay. This
That's
is PFM
when-
After Dark.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's whenever.
That's the scene where
Yeah.
Jason covered my eyes.
Yeah,
No, the scene I covered your eyes was when
he was hammering her.
All right, moving on.
it was
It
you know,
was
It was graphic.
it was
there.
graphic
Yeah.
and long pause.
Awkward long pause.
Do you have a delicious beverage?
Ah,
Yep, we
okay,
do. We
we
have a
do.
beer. Thank you, Megan. I think we need 5 more beers after this one.
but yeah, and I was a little like, I just think you lived through Joe's life where
Mhm.
he has those
Yeah.
ups and downs where there's essentially a good guy at heart, but he himself also has a little misguiding, and he's trying to find his path. But at the end of the day, when he's faced with those moments where he gets the opportunity to do the right thing, he does the right thing.
Yeah, I think Joe lost someone important in his life and potentially his son. Just the way, like, he kind of took Gary in and his demeanor, you really saw his demeanor change once they started kind of building this friendship. And I feel like his drinking and prostitute buying and stuff like that was just kind of residual over maybe him losing a son, possible.
That's true. Yeah.
And him being an ex-con, maybe he killed someone because they killed his son. Just kind of a hypothesis there.
So I'm reading through some of the notes here that are up there on Wikipedia, and I just realized that we were trying to figure out. It says Gary visits Joe, who tells him that he served 29 months for assaulting police officers.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know he did. And remember, there was an kind of a, I would say illusion. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, there where he was talking about, Joe, you can't keep doing this with police officers or whatever.
That's true.
So I guess somewhere we all missed that he was in jail for 29 months for assaulting a police officer.
Well, I just like to make something up and pretend like he killed somebody because he lost his son, but wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But you never know. I feel like he really did lose somebody or something like that. Maybe a kid.
There was one other scene in the movie that was fun. The most fun scene for me, I think, was when G-Dog. So there was two scenes. I wouldn't say the first scene was fun, but the murder scene where he just...
Yeah, he beat up the homeless man.
Well, you tell that story because you like that scene.
That was awful scene.
Yeah, this man, he was like just sitting by the creek, eating his little sandwich, and he had a big old bottle of like Wild Turkey cheap wine or something. So the dad goes over there and he's talking about his wife is sick and how do you get to the hospital, and he wants to go see her, that she's got cancer. You never know when it's going to be your last day. And then he picked up this big old rock and just started bashing his head in it. Then he took all his money and his cheap wine.
Mm-hmm. It didn't look like much money either. This was like a homeless guy, I think.
Yeah, it was like a homeless guy who was just barely scraping by.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty dark.
And it was graphic. They showed his head beat in.
Yeah, like literally crushed in, like skull knocked in.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And that, and the thing about that was that G-Dog portrayed himself as not homeless to the homeless guy.
Yep.
Because I guess technically he wasn't homeless, although he had kind of a rundown home. Speaking of that, so the backstory, I guess this is probably a good time to talk about this, because the backstory behind G-Dog, or Wade, as his character's name was, and Gary Poulter, the actual real actor. So what I learned is that what's the director's name again? It's up here somewhere. David Gordon Green liked to cast locals in his movies. So in this particular case, he went and found Gary Poulter, who I thought was a phenomenal actor in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary Poulter actually was a homeless guy.
And he actually was an alcoholic.
And 2 months after this film was finished, died on the streets of, what was it, Austin, Texas, I think? Somewhere.
Yeah, maybe
I
so.
forget.
And I think he died like of alcohol-related death, right?
Yeah. So,
which is crazy.
Crazy. And I mean, this guy got paid for doing this job, and obviously we know what he did with his money, but I mean, he was a really good, like, his acting was great, I thought.
Yeah, I think he did great.
So, Austin, Texas. Yeah, he died on the streets of Austin on February 19th of 2013, 2 months after the filming ended.
That's just crazy. And also very sad.
Yeah,
because he could have had a really good career with that. And he never really got out of being homeless.
Yep. But anyways, so the fun scene for me was there was one of the main laborers, I don't remember his name. Excuse me, but G-Dog was drinking their water, and he kept it kept irritating this guy, I guess is what I want to say. And the guy decides he's going to like get into an argument with him. What was the line? Do you remember the line? I don't remember
The
the
last line, as G-Dog was walking off, he was kind of like the manager, I guess, of the crew.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah.
They had this crazy argument, and I don't even know what they said because I couldn't understand either one of them. But there was one line that we understood as G-Dog was walking off. He says, "Your face has got a yeast infection on it."
Yes.
Is that the line you're talking about?
That is the other line, yes. And I forgot about that line. And that line was hilarious. But
we
he
had
said,
to rewind it to make sure that's what we understood that correctly.
Yes.
That was pretty funny.
But he also said something like, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up and see if I can think of it before we go through this. I don't want to like start doing that. But so actually, you know what? While I'm trying to do that, we'll do some quotes that were for the line or quotes from the movie. What was your other favorite quote? It was the one about the windshield, right?
The one about the windshield. I don't remember it. Might I add when we watched this movie, I'm just saying, Jason made us some delicious old-fashioned beverages. So
Willie Russell, which
that's
we didn't touch
I
much
don't remember.
Willie Russell, which we didn't touch on much.
Oh, yeah.
He quoted it a couple times. His quote was, "I went through a windshield at 4:00 one morning, and I don't give a fuck."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was showing this big scar.
He said that repeatedly in the movie, too.
And, the way he would say it, "I went through a windshield at 4:00 in the morning, and I don't give a."
Which tells me that I think he did. I think he did care, or he would not have said that repeatedly.
Yeah, I think he
like
did.
everybody he met, I think he told them that.
He did give a fuck.
He did.
Yeah.
He had to because, like you said, he wouldn't have kept saying it.
Before the show, we were reading some of these quotes, and we were kind of acting them out. But my dog is about 100 pounds, brown and white. Looks like a cow. Looks like a cow. Joe says, right. You have a dog that looks like a cow? Well, that's not that big of a deal. A lot of dogs look like cows. Made me think of Benny.
Does Benny look like a cow?
He kind of.
I mean, he's
like
black
a cow.
and tan. He's got little short legs, though. But he's got a beefy belly. But he's strong. He's kind of like an athlete, I think. I think Benny's an athlete. He's like the football player. You know, he's big and stout.
I have a white dog with black spots. She's the cow. She eats grass.
She's like 15 pounds.
She's a miniature
Our
cow.
dogs would swallow your dog's whole.
That is true.
I'm really disappointed that I can't remember that line because it was.
I don't remember
funny.
the one about the windshield or the.
I remember the one about the windshield, but it was the one
but-
about I'm just gonna go on.
I don't remember. We're gonna have to watch this one again.
Okay, so that leads us to a very good question. Would you watch it again?
I would watch it again because, again, like as I previously said earlier, it's kind of hard to grasp all of it because certain scenes had so much going on at one time. For example, the scene where Joe goes into this family's home, like Joe's just like the local everybody's friend, I guess. He knows everyone. He just walks in people's house, but they went in and there's a dude like with a deer hanging from the ceiling and they were like trying to dress it, like cut it up. But there was also a chicken running through the house and they're trying to have some kind of conversation and there's flies and then you can see like the smoothie maker where they're making smoothies.
Why'd you pick up on that part?
Some kind of cocktails. I don't know. There's just a lot going on in that scene. So like you get distracted and you're looking at all the other things. So you probably kind of miss some stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think that's probably something that we would need to do is like go back because I picked up on stuff from Bad Times at El Royale, that I didn't pick up on the first time. But
yeah, and that movie had a lot going on as well, but it was in a whole new different way. It was totally different.
Couple more things about the movie itself. It actually won quite a few awards. Actually, it was nominated for 9 nominations and then won four different ones. So it won an audience award. It won a couple different Venice Film Festival awards. Some other award that
what is that?
Looks like
Claude
clitoris.
Claude Trudis.
It looks like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, it does.
Austin Film Critics Association.
Yeah, the Austin Films Critics Association 2014 winner, special honorary award Gary Poulter for his outstanding performance. So, again, we'll obviously tell you at the end of the show to go back and watch the movie and see if anybody has and all that stuff. But you really, we watch the movie. I mean, we really think it's
Yeah,
it's
I
worth
recommend it. I mean, I give it a 6, depending on what your style is. If you like some dark movies with a lot going on, you definitely want to watch this movie.
Does anybody remember any song from this movie?
I don't.
I don't either. Like, I know there's a soundtrack.
I don't remember any, so it didn't. The music did not speak to me because I don't remember any of them.
I can't think of any of the songs that played either.
Yeah,
but I do highly recommend the movie.
Yeah, I really want to know like what songs there were. Let's see if there's any other fun trivia that we can talk about before we. How's this beer? How's this beer holding up after?
My beer is getting low, low.
What happens is.
After the show,
we spend 40 minutes doing the show, or 50 minutes or whatever it takes to do the show, and then what happens?
I break the glasses.
Oh no! I wasn't talking about that. No. I wasn't talking about that.
Then Mom drinks another beer. She shotguns it. She does not shotgun it, but she may or may not have another beer. And then I feel like I need to walk her home.
No, then I just laugh at everybody. I don't have far to walk, so I don't have to worry about drinking and driving. That's for sure.
So I think we talked enough about the movie. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think I definitely want to rewatch it again because I feel like I didn't get a good grasp on it, and I don't know if it was just my mindset at the moment watching it or if I was distracted. I feel like it was good. It just had a lot going on, so I need to.
Budget $4 million. Box office 2.4.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah. No, it actually lost money. Budget was $4 million, 2.4 at the box office. So.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, and not good math, but very highly rated, very highly received, and all that stuff. But anyways, I think we did talk enough about the movie. I think we talked enough about the beer. Let's talk about other stuff.
Let's talk about
buses for a second.
Also, Jason asked me to marry him for the 100th time, and that's all I want to say. And I said yes. It took me 5 minutes, but I said yes.
Oh. No, the way you just said that said he asked me like 99 times, and I said no, and then on the 100th time he said.
Wait, what? What did I say?
You said Jason asked me to marry him for like the 100th time, and I'm like.
Did I say that?
Yeah. And you're like.
No, I meant like because I've said that for the 100th time.
I've been begging.
No, I meant I've said that 100 times. You didn't ask me 100 times. That's what it sounds like. I've said it 100 times. Anyway,
she tells everybody. That's all.
I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited too.
We are excited.
Yeah, are you excited?
I'm excited, and I'm ready to take our little buses and go.
Yeah, talk to us about buses.
Yeah,
tell us about
what's going on with buses.
Because this is PFM Adventures After Dark, and buses are part of our stories. So, what's the story on the bus? Oh, if anybody's watching, before you say that, right between me and Mom here, there's 3 little lights. And those are lights hanging off the front of the bus. This is the closest anybody on this video has seen, or on the podcast, has seen the bus.
I can't point. I can't do this.
I did it.
We're going to have to take the camera right up to the... You know what we can do is we can film this outside.
I found them.
Yeah.
It's those.
There they are. It's either a UFO or patio lights hanging off the front of the bus just for fun.
It's your little Christmas lights.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I interrupted. How's your bus going?
My bus is going good. I have got a couple of walls that I've put up, so I want to have it really insulated so I can turn it into a little oven or a freezer, depending on what climate I'm in.
And that makes sense. And if anybody's not familiar, because a lot of our podcast listeners are like, what bus? What is that? Well, again, go to our YouTube channel and you'll find sporadic videos because we're really, really hustling to get this thing done.
We are. We have 149 days to goal.
Yeah.
If anyone lives in Alabama and wants to help, just shoot us a DM. We need it.
Yes. Whether you know electrical or plumbing or electrical.
Anything.
Or electrical or electrical or...
Electrical.
Yeah.
Hey, do we need help with electrical?
No, we're good at that.
And carpentry. But I'm good at carpentry.
Yeah, you got this down, so...
I like building things.
Yeah, it's just tough because Jason and I work full time. Mom does not work full time, so she's out there like
I don't work
sunrise to sunset.
No, I just go out there and I piddle little bits at a time. But I tell everybody that I don't ride the short bus. I own it.
That's
And I really
fantastic.
do have a short bus, and it
I
is
have
so
a sound
cute.
effect
I
for this.
love it.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Do you have a delicious beverage?
right? There's some other sound bites that we haven't played in a while. Let's see if we've got another one here to play. I'm sidetracked for a second.
you are sidetracked.
Do you have a delicious taco?
Yes. See?
What did I make for dinner last night?
Street tacos.
Street tacos.
They were great.
They were okay.
Shout out to Mr. Chewy.
Yeah, Mr. Chewy, shout out.
Oh, we should
You have
shout
the
out
best
our
tacos.
non-paying sponsors right now. Who
Mhm.
are our favorite non-paying sponsors?
If you're in Coleman, Alabama for real, and you like street food and you like tacos, go see Mr. Chewy's food truck.
Really, really great guy.
Chef's kiss.
Fantastic food.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like
So nice.
so nice and so helpful,
Mhm.
and the food, like, we
Yeah.
got to go back.
It's so
Like,
good.
we got to go back. And of course, our favorite barber in Coleman, which I forgot to mention where the name of the business was. So we do owe Rose a
Yes.
clippers and
Class.
class. So, yes. Any final words, any final thoughts from anybody on anything at all? I'm sorry, I interrupted your drinking
Oh,
process.
you're fine. Go ahead.
My thoughts are Jason and I are getting married sometime.
And I only asked
And
100 times.
We have 149 days to finish a bus that has nothing on the inside, and it's fine.
We did just put skylights in.
We got our skylights in.
Yes. And
And
they're
that's
not
great.
going to leak.
No.
Because Dicor.
We did.
Thank you,
we
Chuck
did,
Cassidy.
We did the thing.
Chuck Cassidy. This goes out to you. This is supposed to be confetti. There it is. Confetti and balloons for Chuck
balloons.
Dicor. Chuck Cassidy.
Chuck
and his-
Dicor.
Chuck Cassidy. We're doing it every week. We do this. We're doing hearts and we're doing all the symbols and all the stuff. This is just practice for basically, you can do Rockstar. You can try to do Rockstar. Oh, Rockstar. There it is.
I'm a secret
Anyways.
rock star.
I'm sorry, folks. Anybody who's listening to the audio, we have
Yes.
8 different finger emojis that we can do, I guess.
Is it 8?
It's 8.
I never count it.
Nope, it's 8. So, thumbs up, thumbs down, 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, peace sign, double peace sign, rock hands, and heart sign.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
anyway, before we wrap it up this week, let's review the results of last week's X poll. Long story short, 50% of the voters say that I should never stop jumping over fire pits. I love you guys. Thank you for that.
I don't love you guys anymore because I don't want Jason to get hurt.
Okay.
But
You'll be
thanks,
fine.
but thanks for voting, and we appreciate your
We do
participation.
appreciate it. And for anyone who doesn't know the backstory, I posted a video on TikTok, and thanks to all 5,000 plus people that watched it. And it was mainly geared to harass Megan, my daughter, the voice of the Delicious Beverage and Taco. And it basically said, my daughter says I can do this until I'm 60. She didn't remember it, but the truth is, a couple of years ago, she's like, I said, how long do you think I can do this? She goes, oh, probably till you're 60. And I'm like, okay. So I posted the video of me. It was probably one of the most recent videos of me jumping over the fire pit when I lived up in Niagara Falls. And I don't know, I can clear the fire pit in shorts and flip-flops. Like, I really shouldn't jump over a fire pit.
You shouldn't.
Okay, I'm 48 years old. I
You
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
But anyways, we took an X poll and said, should I stop when I'm 50 because it's close? Should I stop now because that's probably the right thing to do? 60 because Megan said so, or never? And everyone else, and most of the voters said never. So thank you guys. I guess
just keep on jumping.
I'm going to do this when I'm 80.
When you singe the hairs on your leg, then you know it's time to stop.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, Jason shaves his legs.
Well, I do not.
I'm kidding.
But-
All right. We definitely recommend checking out the movie Joe, and we would love to know if you share your opinion. We want to know if you share our opinion with the movie. Anyway, head over to X and take the poll now, and we will share the results with you next week.
But
But
Now it's time
Now it's time
to lip sync.
to lip sync.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of the socials, we are present on all of the major socials. The best way to find us is at PFM After Dark. You can also visit our website, merch store, support links, and send us an email. Remember, sharing is caring. We hope you'll encourage others to listen too. If you have an extra minute, please give us a 5-star review on your favorite platform. And if you want to find out more about our journey into schoolie life, check out our PFM Adventures YouTube channel. All of the links are in our show notes.
Thanks for joining us. More adventures to come during the day and after dark.
Lights out.
Will you marry me?